By the time this video ends, you will have been manipulated at least 3 times today. And the scariest part is, you probably thanked them for it. Not by me, by the systems, structures, and people around you, most of whom don't even realize they're doing it. Here's the thing that should unsettle you. Manipulation doesn't look like a villain twirling their mustache. It looks like a conversation, a headline, a discount offer, a friend who just wants what's best for you. It is invisible. It is constant. And the reason it works so well is that we are trained to believe it only happens to other people. Today, that belief ends. These are 10 manipulation tactics being used on you every single day, and by the end of this list, you will never be able to unsee them. Before we get into the list, you need to understand what manipulation actually is. It's not yelling. It's not even being cruel. Manipulation is the act of bypassing someone's rational mind to influence their behavior without their awareness or consent. Now, 3 things before we start. First, Tactic 7 is the one most people refuse to believe even after they've experienced it. Pay attention when we get there. Second, one of these tactics was specifically developed by government intelligence agencies. It is now used on civilians every single day. And the last tactic on this list, it isn't done to you from the outside. You do it to yourself. That is the most disturbing part of everything we're about to cover. Let's go. Tactic 1. The contrast principle. Your brain cannot judge an object or an idea in isolation. It can only judge it in comparison to the thing that came right before it. Real estate agents use this by showing you 2 dumpster houses that are overpriced first. When they finally show you a decent house, it feels like a dream home, even if it's still mediocre. The first experience was a setup. It was designed to distort your perception of the second. If you've ever felt a relief that led you to say yes to something you normally wouldn't, you were being played by the contrast. Tactic 2. Social proof engineering. When you see 4.8 stars, 12,000 reviews, your brain outsources the decision to the crowd. Manipulators engineer this. Fake reviews, hired audiences, inflated follower counts. They don't need to convince you. They just need to convince you that everyone else is already convinced. Tactic 3. The Zeigarnik effect or open loops. Your brain hates an unfinished story. This is the science behind clickbait and the to be continued cliffhanger. We remember uncompleted tasks or interrupted information much more vividly than completed ones. Manipulators and media structures use this to keep you in a state of high arousal tension. They give you a problem but withhold the solution. They tell you, you won't believe what happens next. Your brain stays locked on that specific frequency until the loop is closed. It's not curiosity. It's a biological itch that they own the right to scratch. Tactic 4. The foot in the door. Small yes leads to bigger yes. Ask someone to sign a petition, they sign. A week later, ask them to donate, they comply. Each small commitment reshapes how they see themselves. They start with something you'd be embarrassed to say no to. Tactic 5. Framing. This surgery has a 90% survival rate versus this surgery has a 10% mortality rate. Identical information, completely different emotional decisions. Every news headline is a framing choice. Change the frame, change the decision. Stop. We're halfway through. Everything we've covered so far operates on your logic. You can learn to notice these. The next 5 tactics are different. They bypass your rational mind entirely. They work on your identity, your neurology, and your emotions. And Tactic 7, the one engineered by the CIA, is likely being used on you right now. Tactic 6, identity-based persuasion. Don't tell someone what to do. Tell them what kind of person they are. I thought you were someone who actually cared. The moment you accept a label, your behavior follows automatically to protect your self-image. Tactic 7. The Firehose of Falsehood. This was developed for psychological warfare. The goal isn't to push one lie, it's to push dozens of contradictory claims at high volume. The goal is exhaustion. When you are flooded with conflicting info, you stop looking for the truth. You become passive. A confused population doesn't resist. Tactic 8. Love bombing and withdrawal. Give someone overwhelming warmth, then suddenly withdraw it. The withdrawal creates a panic state. The target's brain goes into overdrive to recover that warmth. They become compliant and eager to please. This is the foundation of every cult and every toxic relationship. Tactic 9. The choice architecture trap. Most people believe they are free because they have choices, but the most effective manipulators don't tell you what to do. They simply control the environment where you make the decision. If you go to a cafeteria and the healthy food is at eye level while the junk food is hidden on the bottom shelf, you aren't being forced, but you are being nudged. In a conversation, this looks like the double bind. Instead of asking, "Do you want to help me?" they ask, "Do you want to help me on Tuesday or Thursday?" Your brain skips the option of saying no entirely and focuses only on the options they provided. You are choosing from a menu you didn't write. Tactic 10. Cognitive dissonance or self-manipulation. When your behavior contradicts your beliefs, your brain doesn't change the behavior. It rewrites your values to match what you're already doing. You stay in a toxic job, so you convince yourself it builds character. The manipulator is gone. You are doing their work for them now. Manipulation works not because you are stupid, but because you are human. These tactics exploit architecture built into your brain over thousands of years. But the moment you can name the tactic, it loses its power. You came into this video being manipulated without knowing it. You're leaving with a map. Use it. The reason we are declassifying these files is not to make you cynical. It is to make you conscious. Most people live their entire lives as passengers in a vehicle someone else is driving. They accept the frame, they follow the crowd, and they ignore the quiet alarm bells of their own intuition, simply because it is easier to be compliant than it is to be aware. But there is a hidden cost to that ease. Every time you allow a manipulation to succeed, you surrender a small piece of your autonomy. You become a little more predictable, a little more programmable. And eventually, if you aren't careful, you stop being the architect of your own character and start becoming a product of your environment. True power isn't about controlling others. It's about being uncontrollable yourself. It's about looking at the choice architecture around you and deciding to walk out of the room. This was the opening brief for the manipulation files. Knowing the tactics is only half the battle. You need to see how they are used to trap you emotionally. On April 28th, we are declassifying the most dangerous entry point, love bombing. We will expose how narcissists hook you in the first week, using your own chemistry against you. If you missed the investigation on how a narcissist chooses their target, watch it right now. It's right there on the screen. Subscribe to 10 Factory. The mask is coming off.